Guys, welcome to the Homestead. Okay, now a few weeks ago I did a video on telling you basically the 5 places I would rather not live on a homestead if I had the choice. And I gave some locations around the country that are ideally not the best places to be if the world should go sideways. And some of you wanted to argue with me. I'm like, don't do that. Don't do that. But here we are. So one of the things I saw most common, because a lot of you did agree with me. You saw my points, the points that I made. I'll put that video linked in the end screen. If you want to watch it, fine, and then go through and see. But listen, some of you agreed with me. A lot of you agreed with me because you know, especially the ones who've lived in these places and have sought greener pastures. Because why? They're greener, because things grow there. It's hard to grow things in the desert. It's hard to grow things in the swamp. It's hard to grow things when you're way up north, and your season is limited. There are certain places where you can grow a lot of things, and some places you just can't. So I made the point in the video of where I would like to live if I could, where I would not want to live, and why those places are detrimental for your homesteading journey should you want to prepare for a life off-grid or a life when the world goes sideways. Now, one of the comments I saw often posted in that video was, Zach, because I did the whole point of people who live in very northern latitudes. Now, I'm not talking about like northern Missouri or even Iowa, but when you start getting up into the upper edges of like Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, your ability to grow some things kind of gets limited. Unless you spend a lot of time and money to do things a certain way. And that's fine. I've said often on my channel, if you throw enough time and money into something, you can do anything almost. That's the way. I mean, you have the Saudi prince who's trying to build a city in the desert right now called Neom. And I'm still waiting for how he's going to figure out how to get past the whole water thing. Because the only water he's got is that Gulf of Aqaba, and it's like all saltwater filled. So how are you going to do that? How are you going to grow this mega city without water? He's still trying to figure that out. He'll let me know when he figures it out. Anyway, the whole northern latitudes thing. A lot of you left comments saying, but Zach, did you not see the guy who can grow oranges in the snow? There's so many of you who left that comment. I had to go check it out because I'd never heard of the guy who could grow oranges in the snow. So I looked him up. And there was a guy who, I believe his name is Russ, and he is in Nebraska. And he is building greenhouses in the snow. In fact, that's his website, Greenhouses in the Snow. You can check it out, greenhousesinthesnow.com. And you can find this guy pretty easily on Google. He's everywhere. And a lot of homesteading channels have gone to his location to make videos showing how you can grow oranges in the snow with greenhouses in the snow. And isn't this fantastic? This is the way to solve all of your problems if you live in the northern latitudes. Yes, you can grow oranges in the snow, but it's not exactly just that easy. As with most things, when they sound too good to be true, they usually are. And again, also, as I have said many times, often on my channel, if you throw enough time and money into a problem, you can usually solve it. Time and money solves a lot of problems. As in the case of this guy who has grown oranges in the snow. So, when you watch his videos, you start to notice some things. And I've made some notes to share with you all today on how you can grow oranges in the snow. Everyone gets all excited until they actually start zooming into these things. And as I often say, when in doubt, zoom out. Let's look at the whole picture. It's $25,000 to set this up. Yeah, because you're going to have to order the greenhouse from him. They give you quotes on the website. You can say, hey, I'm going to do this. This is my situation, blah, blah, blah. They're going to send you a quote, and you're going to buy the materials from him to build this sort of greenhouse. But then that's not all. You have the construction, and you have a backhoe rental, okay? You have a frame purchase, which is what they help you with. You have tubing, panels, fans, all the wiring and infrastructure that goes into this thing that you're burying halfway into the earth. And at the end of the day, you're paying $25,000 for your greenhouse in the snow. So, I mean, For some of you, that may be okay. You've got 25 grand just laying around. Most of us who live on planet Earth don't have $25,000 just laying around ready to be used to build a greenhouse in the snow. And if that's you, fine, you can do that. Throw enough time and money into a problem. Yeah, oranges in the snow. Oranges in December, lemons in December, limes in December. Fantastic. 25 grand. Yeah, 25 grand. But didn't you see the guy? Listen, I'm reading the comments. Didn't you see the guy? You can grow oranges in the snow. Yes, you can grow oranges. 25 grand. The second thing, besides the money issue, is number one, notice when you're watching this video, notice all the fans and the blowers that are all over the place. See, this is infrastructure. These are things that are required to be able to grow oranges in the snow. And every time you have something like this that needs to be in operation in order to grow your oranges in the snow, that's a failure point. Failure point. That's something that can go wrong. And I don't know about you, but I was in the military and we learned about Murphy. And Murphy's Law, if you don't know Murphy's Law, is that anything that can go wrong will go wrong. And that is absolutely true in combat. It is absolutely true in homesteading. I often tell the story about the guy who was working on my driveway one day when we first moved out to this land. And he was walking up the driveway after he'd been working on it with his dozer. And I said, "Hey, how'd your day go today?" And his answer was, "Nothing broke." That's a good day when nothing breaks. Because Murphy is always there. And I've said this story many times on my channel, and a lot of you guys comment says, "Yep, that's absolutely a great day when nothing breaks." Because you live on a homestead and you know. So, yes, you have all of these things, these blowers, these fans, these electronics, and all this stuff. And all of these things are failure points that if they fail, then your greenhouse fails or you're going to have severe issues. And in fact, in the main video, so the video I'm referring to that I watched was put out by a channel called Kirsten Dirksen. Anyway, she's got 2 million followers. So her video on this guy has been seen by a lot of people. And then other homestead channels have also made videos about this guy, probably because they heard it from Kirsten's channel because hers is very popular amongst homesteaders. In her main video, they talk about how one of his greenhouses, after about 2 or 3 years, one of his greenhouses collapsed because of snow load. So for that greenhouse, you can't grow oranges in the snow. The snow had the last laugh. And things go wrong. That would really be horrible to spend 25 grand on a greenhouse in the snow and you get an unusually high snow load one year and it collapses. Ouch. Ouch. So all these things are failure points. And it requires 7 amps during the winter, 7 amps worth of electricity. So you do need electricity. It's not a lot of electricity, but it is electricity that you're going to need. And it also requires Wi-Fi internet to regulate. Did you notice he's got a smartphone and he's controlling this and controlling multiple greenhouses on his smartphone? So you have to understand that you're going to be using that smartphone to be operating these things and operating these blowers and making sure the reason why he's doing that on his smartphone, because if something fails, he knows right away that he has to go and fix that failure point, because if he doesn't, it all goes to poop. It all goes to poop. And that's one of the reasons why he's using that. The part of that video that I think was the most telling, and I had to replay it over and over again to make sure I heard him correctly, because I did, but I wanted to make sure, because I wanted to make sure if I did a video on this to be able to bring it up to you so that you knew. But he says I think it's a 4 minute and 10 second mark, if you can't do away, you can't do away with any part of it. So he's got his system with this greenhouse in the snow, with these buried air lines that go on the ground. You have to use a backhoe to get all of these things buried. Not only the greenhouse, but all of these air lines with these tubes and stuff like that, these big tubes to push the air through. You have to get all that down, all the blowers installed, all the fans installed, all the wiring installed, all of these things to get this to work. And he says at the 4 minute mark and 10 seconds, he says, you can't do away with any part of it. Meaning he's making the point that if one part fails, it all fails, which again is why he has everything on his app, so that if something does go wrong, he can be notified and fix it quickly. Yes, you can throw enough time and money at any problem to to fix it or to make things happen. The one I think about often is the one, it was a very popular YouTube channel that was out in the Arizona desert. And he had this gigantic rain collection thing that he had built because he was going to overcome. He was going to overcome the rain issue, the water issue, because he had fruit trees and he had nut trees and he had gardens and he had animals. And he was going to overcome this problem of no water by having a gigantic collection system so that on the few days of the year, mind you, it rained, he can get the water, all of the water he needs for the entire year. I don't remember, but last time I checked, that didn't work. But he spent an awful lot of money. And you could tell just by watching this channel about 5 minutes that this guy was loaded. He had a ton of money. He had bank accounts. Him and his wife were very good at doing business, whatever they did beforehand. I think his wife had a channel too, also that she was doing well, and she was doing well with that. But they had a lot of money going into this, meaning they were throwing a lot of money into this to solve their problems rather than just saying, historically, people don't grow a lot of things in the desert. Maybe, perhaps, we should just try to find a different place to live. So I'm trying to save you time, okay? Stop arguing with me in the comments and find a place to live where you can grow animals and then have them do well, where you can grow gardens and have them do well, where you can grow fruit trees and nut trees and all the things you might want to grow and have them do well. Those do well in more temperate, milder climates where you don't have to worry about 6 feet of snow blocking you into your house, or you don't have to worry about a desert where you get like 9 inches of rain per year. Maybe on a good year, or, a swamp where if everything goes sideways one day and they stop spraying the state, Florida, mind you, stop spraying $100 million worth of mosquito repellent every single year, that you now have to worry about malaria and come to the same conclusion that Daniel Boone 150 years ago came to, that this is not a good place to live. And the soil's not very good in Florida either, for the most part. I'm trying to help you out. I'm trying to save you some time. I'm trying to save you some heartache. There are people who have gone before you, who have learned some things and done some things. And when you look at how the world works, there are some good places to live and just not some good places to live. But what do you think? I'm interested to hear your thoughts. Just real quick, the channel sponsor today is the Perfect Pickler Kit. It's getting to be real popular right now on trying to figure out how to grow probiotics at home, because the word is out that those small little pill bottles of probiotics are not very effective. They may give you 10, 15 at the most strains of gut healing bacteria. It says right on the bottle, contains 10 strains, contains 15 strains or 12 strains or whatever. You can get over 100 strains, 100 just by growing cabbage, that's sauerkraut, in your kitchen at home. 100 strains, 100 different strains of probiotics by growing cabbage. That's not including when you throw carrots, when you throw peppers, when you throw all kinds of other onions and garlic into your ferment at home. You're getting way more strains. If you want gut healing, healthy probiotics, therapeutic doses of probiotics in order to heal your gut, in order to heal SIBO and some of these other things that people are suffering from, grow your own probiotics. Grow your own probiotics. And you start off small, maybe a tablespoon a day, but it takes like 3 days, 4 days to grow this. You're done in 4 days. It doesn't have to sit for 2 weeks. Go out, get your fresh veggies, and you can go to the supermarket, try to find the freshest ones at the supermarket. Organic is best, but not required. And follow the instructions that come with the kit. On this kit, the Master System, you can get a downloadable version of this recipe booklet and instruction booklet. It's got everything in there. It's got like 14 different recipes on all kinds of different things you can grow with your all color photos. And then if you want to, you can get the value package over at theperfectpickler.com. You can get the Master System, and the value package does double what the Master System will do. And it also comes with a physical copy of the recipe booklet and instructions. This one comes with a downloadable version. Either way, makes a great gift, makes a great gift to a person who maybe trying to deal with some gut issues. And you can give this as a gift, or you can do it yourself. Listen, this is getting very popular because people are realizing these little pills and all these things that they sell at the grocery store that say, hey, it contains probiotics, actually really don't. The studies are showing they don't contain anything. And if they do, it's very minimal. Why? Because they want you to keep coming back to buy more. They don't make any money when you buy one single kit and fix your gut problem for life. Because you learn how to do it, and really, honestly, you don't even need a kit. I'm like, I help own the company. My son, my oldest son, owns the company. He's running the company. But the reality is, it's like, you don't need, this is very basic. What this company does, Perfect Pickler, is it holds your hand the first few times through. It gives you everything you need in the kit to get through those first few batches so that you can be off and running. You can be off and running. And then hopefully you'll tell your friends about it and they'll buy a kit. So that we can hold their hand through the process a few times, and then they can be off and running. And what do we get? We get a healthier America. Did you know most of the products that people ate back in the day were all probiotic rich? You had sourdough, that's probiotic rich. You had cured meats, probiotic rich. You had hold on, I'm going to get in trouble. You had Warclim products. You know that phrase spelled backwards that every time I mention it on YouTube, I get in trouble? Yeah. You had Warclim cheese, Warclim butter, Warclim sour cream, Warclim cottage cheese. Everything was Warclim. And guess what? It has tons of probiotics. Tons of probiotics. We don't do that anymore. No, you buy your pasteurized poisons at the grocery store. And everyone tells you that other stuff, that'll kill you. So, and then so you got the veggies. So all the people, they had veggies that were probiotics. You had the milk products that were probiotic. You had the cured meats and the sourdoughs. Everything was probiotics. Today, nothing is probiotics. Zero is probiotics. And we're all a bunch of fat slobs in this country now. Unhealthy and addicted to pharmaceutical drugs. Yeah. I was watching I'm just going to go on a little bit of a rant here. So it's the holiday season and I got nothing to do. I was watching a video on X. I think I posted it on X. I posted it on my feed. If you're not following me on X, you ought to be. And I posted an X because I graduated the class of 96. Cleveland Junior Naval Academy. I went to Cleveland Junior Naval Academy in St. Louis, where I graduated from. And soon after graduation, I was deployed to Germany, started my enlistment there. And after I went to military school since 7th grade. Anyway, there was a video of a bunch of the class of 96 at some high school. I don't know what it was, but some high school, all the kids were dancing. And one thing I noticed about that clip of all those kids dancing in 1996, even the fat kids were skinny. They were. Even the fat kids were skinny compared to today. What has happened? What has changed? Our diet has changed. Did you see the whole Campbell's chicken noodle soup thing? I did a video on that. Probiotics, folks. Perfectpickler.com. Get some. Start doing your stuff yourself. Start doing the things that your great-grandmothers used to do. And get away from all this processed garbage and all these poisons that they're trying to kill you with so that they can get you addicted to the pharmaceutical companies. All right, we'll leave it at that. Leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you don't agree with any of my rant, my holiday rant today, I'd love to hear from you so that I can argue with you in the comments and just waste more time. All right, guys. Love you. See you next time in the Homestead. Bye. Have you ever gone to a health food store and seen all those small bottles of probiotics in your cooler section? Man, can they be pricey. Are you really getting all you need to improve your gut health from those expensive bottles? How viable are they? Most of those products claim to give you between 8 and 15 strains of gut-healthy healing bacteria. Think of each strain of bacteria as a different factory in your gut. Each factory is responsible for breaking down that food in its own way. The more factories you have, the more the food is broken down and the easier the food is absorbed and digested by the body. A 2018 study published by the National Library of Medicine shows that one fermented head of cabbage can produce up to 114 strains of beneficial bacteria. That's a lot more food factories than you're getting from that expensive pill bottle. And that's just cabbage. Imagine the probiotics when you add garlic, onions, pepper, and more to that ferment. PerfectPickler.com and its home fermentation kits provide you with everything you need to get started making your own gut-healthy food factories from the comfort of your own kitchen. PerfectPickler.com even provides a jam-packed recipe book with many of our kits. Visit PerfectPickler.com and start fermenting your own veggies to begin your journey to better gut health. That's PerfectPickler.com.
Hey guys, did you know you can become a patron of an American Homestead? They get access to private videos, and we send them gifts from the homestead that we make here on the homestead. And we also enter our patrons into special giveaways that are only available to them. And before you go, please check out these other great videos. Go ahead, click. I'll wait.